Anyway, guys, we are.
Back.
Anyway, guys, we
Why
are.
can't I hear myself? Why can't I hear myself? Back.
Anyway, guys, we are.
That's why I can hear myself.
So we're back, and after the yesterday upload or record or live, whatever you want to call it, I just thought I'd come on. I'm still ill. I'm still off work, so excuse the voice. Excuse the roughing the voice. It's the next day. Don't feel too good, but this is the site. So the Fortification Frontier Stronghold is this site I'm going to be aiming for. Now there is 2 other sites in there, 3 other sites. I have done Outpost Frontier Strongholds. They're not harder per se, but they are a bit more. They're a tiny bit more difficult, but they're not amazingly difficult. The ship will still handle it. They tend to take a little bit longer because there's more battleships in there. The solar cell I've never done, and a ruse construct I've never done. These are the sites. The Fortification Frontier Strongholds are the ones I am going to be aiming to clear out. Potentially do the Outpost Frontier. Solar cells and a ruse, maybe. But as I said yesterday, or in the last video, we do have certain ships that are triggers. We do have webbers, so the emergent defenders that you can see here do web. They're a frigate class. The awakened defenders, you have 2 of them in the first wave. Killing the last ship of the trigger class will trigger the next wave. Now you don't want to be doing that. I mean, take one of the defenders out and the awakened out, and then take the emergents out is what I'll be doing. Maybe ish, probably. And then the last one, and then your wave 2 will be 2 awakened defenders and 2 awakened upholders. Now this is where the neuting comes in. The 2 awakened upholders will be neuting you, and from memory they neut you about 49 kilojoules each per cycle, which we can handle if we keep an eye on his cap. They do also web you, so that SIG tank does drop. My advice there, and is what I will be doing, is killing one of these off as quick as possible, then switching back to the defenders, taking their DPS out, and then coming back to the awakened upholder to kill the last one and trigger the last wave. Now this, I've never run this sacrilege in this. I've seen it happen, I've seen it work. I've never actually run it myself, so how I'm going to do this I don't know, because I used to run these in a Tengu. So what had happened is I'd kill the last awakened upholder on wave 2, cloak up as quickly as possible, hopefully capture your cloak, and then work my way slowly towards the awakened preserver, because you do have a battleship and he does neut in this. So you've got a awakened upholder and a sleepless holder. The sleepless upholder is a neut also, but it's a battleship class. But you have a preserver, which is a remote rep for these guys, and it takes the absolute mick to kill the sleepless upholder with that preserver still alive. So what I used to do is cloak up, move slowly towards the upholder, and just chat that weird. Move slowly, uncloak, blap the preserver, and then work my way through. You could get underneath your. It's a good idea. You can get underneath the guns of the sleepless upholder. You do need to be close up. This again, another reason why I did like the tactic of cloaking up and going in that way. We'll see how it works with sacrilege. We can always warp out. There isn't any scramming on this. You do have that get me out of here button, as in the assault damage control, which should give you enough time to get yourself out of there. Now we're going to have a look at the other anomalies in this, because I do feel like if we're going to do it, then there is potential of earning it. So the blue loot you receive from this is about 41 mil. In the Tengu, I was clearing these every 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes. So if we work on every 15 minutes, you're pulling about 80 mil every half an hour, about 160 mil an hour, which isn't too bad going. It's definitely not AFK ratting, but it isn't very. Bar the fact that you're in a wormhole and you need to keep an eye on the local public, well, not the local, but you need to keep an eye on your D-scan and for PvP coming your way and blah blah blah. It's quite chill. It's not a massive stress. And we do have the alt in there. He's also D-scanning on the opposite screen, so it won't be too stressful. Like I said, we'll have a look at this one. So this is the outpost. See, this is where you do have, from memory, you have sentry towers in this, and they do slap. The tactic I've always used is warp into the site with a bookmark open, Control B, and as soon as the grid, and I mean literally as soon as the grid loads, click your bookmark, it will save it. You normally get it between about 400 kilometers off. As soon as you land, walk back out to your bookmark you've just created, and then pick the closest sentry tower to the battleship and blap that control tower. The Sleepless Defender doesn't nuke in this one, it just webs. And they're putting out it's putting out 158 DPS. You can survive this. I would advise taking out the sentry towers. That's on you. We'll see how that one goes. They've got a stupid range, the 250 kilometers of attack range, and they've got a volley of 1,000 damage. So it's 1,000 damage every 15 seconds. It's not overwhelming. It's not really overwhelming, but it is overwhelming. It can become overwhelming if you then decide that you want to kill the battleship, Sleepless Defender, and bring into the next wave, and then you've got another 4 Awakened Defenders, and the last wave is another 4 Emergent Defenders and 2 Sleepless Defenders. So you have 2 battleships to contend with and 4 Emergent Defenders. I tend to take out a battleship as soon as I possibly can, depending on distances, and then either try and take out the 2 defenders, the 2 Sleepless Defender battleships, or take out one of the Sleepless Defender battleships and then work on the Emergent Defenders. But taking off DPS from the field will help you out massively, absolutely massively. Now these 2 I've never done. I've never ever done these. You do have scram in this. Never done these. Don't know if it'll survive it. Don't know if it will. I don't know if it'll be actually doable in this ship, but we'll find out. We will do one of these at some point. So you do have scram in this site, only in the first wave, which is advisable to take out straight away, so you're not stuck there, pretty much. An upholder, awakened upholder, again, both neuting, but all webbing, so you're going to be webbed, you're going to be really webbed down in this, and you've got a Sleepless Defender battleship as a possible spawn. Wave 2, you've got 2 Emergent Defenders. You don't have any nukes in this, any web scrams in this wave, bar the wave 1, which you can see there is the Emergent Preserver. You do have nukes, and you do have the remote reppers for these guys. So take one of the Emergent Upholders out, because that is your trigger. The only thing is with this one is the web scram is your trigger. So if you think you can't deal with this, then you're going to be scrammed. You kill that scram, you need to get out, because that is going to be the trigger for the next one. You've got 2 awakened defenders and an awakened upholder in wave 2, so you've got 4 cruisers and 4 frigates. Your last upholder, emergent upholder, is your trigger, so leave that one alive. It's a bit rubbish because it is a remote repper, and it will take you a little bit longer to take out these targets, but you really don't want to be triggering all your waves at once. And the last wave, you've got 2 awakened defenders, a sleepless defender and a sleepless preserver, so you do actually have a remote repping battleship at this point. Take out that first. That is the one to take out first, or that is the one that I will be taking out first in this. This window will be on my other screen the entire time that I'm doing this experiment, nomadic lifestyle kind of thing. But I just thought we'd do a bit of a video on, or a bit of a bit of a video on this first off. And the rules construct, again, you have sentry towers. I can't quite remember this one if I'm honest, but we'll go in. The idea will be the same as the Frontier Stronghold, whereas we warp in, we have a bookmark at the ready. As soon as grid loads, click that bookmark, get it to 400 kilometers out, warp back to the bookmark, and then pick the closest sentry tower that these ships are at, that the upholders are at. You do have a preserver that's a possible spawn, and your last awakened upholder is your trigger for your next wave. Your next wave will be 4 emergent defenders and a sleepless defender battleship. Both webbing, no neuting, thankfully, because the battleships do neut for quite a bit. Your battleship is your trigger for your next one, and then on your last wave, you've got 2 awakened preservers, which are the remote reppers. So you could do with taking them out first. They don't do a mass amount of DPS, but taking them out will help, massively help. And then your sleepless upholder. That is the last ship that you'd be taking out on this class 3. We don't have any data or relic modules on the fits, so we won't be running these. So you've got class 3, you've got Frontier Quarantine Outpost and a Frontier Recursive Depot, and on the data you've got Frontier Database and a Frontier Receiver. I won't be running those this time round because I don't have the fit, I don't have the relic or data modules fitted to this ship. We did go through the ship fit on the last video. I'll quickly show you it now. But yeah, other than that, we are going to go out. I have a system in mind where we can go out and start scanning down. It is I think it's a 0.2 system. If we, where are we? So if we bring up Princess, take out Crib. So we're in as Helios. Quick fit. I did alter this a little bit, just maybe. I don't know if I'm going to actually use it or not, depending on the system, depending on the threat level. I did put a salvager 2 on there just as a bit of a extra bit of an income. See what we get. I did throw some more rage missiles in and some more javelin missiles in, just as a backup, so I don't have to come out particularly. 2,000 won't last me very long, but it's there as a backup. I also threw another 500 nanite paste in for the main, and another set of sister core probes just in case, because we can obviously transfer them to the main. We can use them on this if we jump through a wormhole and forget to bring us probes and recover us probes, which I have done before, and it happens more often than not. More often than I'd like to it not to happen. Yeah, so that's just the fit now. Also, while we're here, we may as well mark it. So, I can't remember if I can use these or not. can't use them ones. Can you use them ones on this character? Yes. I might as well throw one of them in. Just an extra, if we do end up... If we do end up salvaging, at least we've got that there. Oh. So we do have that there now. So, do I turn these on? This will look a bit confusing in a minute, but it's because that's not set up for that one. We'll see how it goes when I undock. See if we can move it about a bit. But it's just to stop this stream snipers, that's all. Although you're going to see that anyway, potentially. So we're going to go into a low sec. Well, not low sec, we are going into low sec. We're going two jumps into low sec. We're going into a 0.2 system. I have flown in this system before. I've also been killed in this system and killed in this system, but we'll undock the alt and see if we can find an own. And we'll just see what this looks like, because that looks a bit... I don't know why it's doing that. I do know why it's doing that, because that's on a different... No, I'll turn them off. Active. That's because that's set to a different screen. It is what it is. If we get sniped, we get sniped. So we don't need his inventory window open. We need a probe scanner window open. I'll show you how I tend to set up probe scanner. No, we need that. System map. And I just have that as small as I can get it, because we don't actually need to see our ship at this point in time. We just need to see what we're doing, basically. Drive active. And I like to have my directional window open. The directional I tend to have on just hostile targets, just so I can see if anybody's coming my way. I always have my local window open, and the chats are closed down because we don't need to see those. So that's a bit of an idea how I set my screen up for when I'm scanning. As you can see, we are picking up cosmic signatures. These are what we'll be scanning down when we get into the lower sec space. You can get C3 wormholes drop into high sec space. That is always a possibility. And if these few systems don't give any, how will we call it? If they don't give any results, then we will warp drive active. So we've launched as probes, we've walked to a save, we've cloaked up. Now we're going to start scanning. So on this, cosmic signatures and anomalies, we're going to take out the anomalies. The ships we won't pick up anyway because we're not using combat probes. But as you can see, we've got two signatures, one over here and one over here. Now, I don't really want to go into a tutorial of scanning particularly. But if you double click the anomaly that you want to scan down and then drag your probes over that. That is, as you can see there, the red circle is where the anomaly will be. So if we analyse that, and there is shortcuts to this. There is a few more shortcuts to this. Well, we've got 6.5, so it's moved from where the probes were. Double click, it'll center it in screen. And you can drag round so you can get that pretty much on. And then what we'll do, why is that not dropping down? Did it drop down? No, it didn't. I don't know why it's not doing it. No, it's not doing it. So we'll drop that down. I don't know why. I do know why, because it's not set on this character. We'll drop down that to 4AU and give it another scan. Now we are still cloaked up. We have got one person in local for D-scan. We can't pick anybody up in D-scan. Now we're up to 16.3%. It's not moved that far. It's not deviated that far. So we just drag that back over. And now what we'll do, I mean, I'm going to try this. We'll drop it down 2 notches, so down to 1 AU. And hopefully this turns out to be a wormhole. I'm hoping. There we go, we picked up a wormhole. We don't know what it is yet. I don't know what class it is. A double click. And now this is the point you need to try as quickly and as efficiently get that dropped right on top of that wormhole. Drop it down to 0.5, 0.25. This should 100% this wormhole straight away. There you go. I always bookmark these, so I'll just leave it like that and just wormhole 1, because I don't know what it is. I always leave it as I always have it as a 2-day bookmark, because wormholes never last longer than 2 days. But while we've got us probes out in this system, we know we've found that wormhole. We've bookmarked that wormhole. So what we'll do is we'll drag that back over here. And we're well off there. As you can see with that, the view, the angle that you view this on does make a massive difference. Because when I drag this up now, it's still not necessarily going to be where we want it to be. So I'll jump that back up to 4. We're not quite, see the red circle? We're not quite including that in all of the scans. We'll jump up to 8 and give it another analyze. I've got a signature of 7.5. So what we can do is, if we double click on there, it will center that in as map. Drop that down, zoom in. See about what I mean about the view. Try and get that centered as clean as possible, as quick as possible. You don't always need to center it, but it is advisable if you're able to do it quickly. I'll drop that down to 2 AU, because if it's 9 times out of 10, if it's near a body of items in space, or see that's the combat side, we don't want that. So we've got a wormhole. So what we'll do is we'll warp to 0 on that wormhole. We'll recover as probes. Click on that.
Active.
So now we have no probes in space. We are warping to said wormhole. Now there is a website out there where you can identify wormholes from the look of them. I haven't quite mastered this yet, by any way, shape or form. And also, there is also websites out there. Now this from memory, if you click on look, I have to be quick because I'm a bit close. This looks to me like a C3 plus. It's a 432. I can't remember what that gives you. But you bookmark Save location, wormhole 1. The bookmark you made won't actually be on the wormhole, so I advise you, if I can find that, is to delete that one, because that wormhole will be 7k away. So if you want it to drop onto the wormhole, you need a bookmark on the wormhole. You can only do that by actually bookmarking the wormhole. When you do it off of the scanner, it won't give you the actual wormhole. It'll give you within 10k of wormhole. So if we approach, and I'm going to open up this quick screen. Now 432 classification is giving you access into a C5 wormhole. Have we got any on scan? And we've got no anomalies in here anyway. Now we could scan our way further in. We would have to go get our main. 134 141. And this is a class 5, which this ship will not carry. This ship will not be able to contend with in the slightest. We could have a scan about in here. Result's not quite in here yet. Bookmark that. So always bookmark your exit. I will have to go back out this way. Or if we pick a planet, Mark 200, launch probes,
warp drive active.
cloak up, Control B, safe 1, pick a spot, click enter. That'll then save that spot in the middle of absolutely nowhere. And then when we go to locations, save, what is it? Well, warp to 0. That then puts us in a location.
Active.
We are nice and cloaked up. We can then fire these up to 16 AU because we are including 3 of the cosmic signatures. These may be more wormholes. These may be combat sites. There may be gas sites. There may be relic sites, data sites. It's a bit of a guessing game. We'll pick this one where we've got the most percentage on. Move over. And this is basically, this is what I was saying yesterday, or the last video live kind of thing, on the fact of this is the bit that takes the longest. Is scanning out is literally the scanning, because you need to find not necessarily the perfect wormhole, but you do need to find a C3 that has the sites to run. And hopefully is not inhabited by some scary people. So we'll drop that down to 4, scan again. And we've got another wormhole. To be fair, I could be open. I could do. Cambridge Cove now, is it? Oh, no, it's not that one. I'll drop that down to 1. It's not dot lan. I can't remember what it is. We'll go straight to that one.
Warp drive active.
Recover his probes. Do that. 296. Keep doing that. That's into another class 5. So there's
Warp
warp
drive
and cloak.
active.
Can't do it well warping, but now don't forget one of these will be one of these anomalies that we've bookmarked. That is our out exit. We don't want a class 5. So if we actually go to drop, just fire them out because that'll move them away from us. If we go to this wormhole, edit location, wormhole 1, class 5, then we know that's a class 5. And then we will pick one of these. So we're cloaked up, we're relatively safe, unless someone lands right on top of his head. And what we'll do is we'll get back to scanning these and these cosmic sigils down. Now we're at 8, we'll drop it down to 4. We won't pick that one up now. We've got another wormhole here. So we could try, and we're not going to get there. What we'll do is move that over. I've got another wormhole here. What we'll do is we'll walk to that bookmark. 0.
Warp drive
Those
active.
probes. We should really. Normally, it will be scan, 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 scan until. See, we've got a cluster shut down as well now. K162, I can't remember what that is. Let's have a look, quick look, because this might be an hole to get into before shutdown. Oh, it's unknown. We'll have a look quickly. So we're not going to be able to. We're going to come in and out of this hole. Oh, that's a low sec. So we're actually 23 jumps away from the system that we came into, and we have nothing on the scan. We've got no one in local. So it's no use to us really. Although it's a low sec, we can get out. We are one jump away from ISEF. And I'm convinced we're in the forge, so I bet this is actually a good connection to Jita. Jita's only 9 jumps away, so if we wanted to go to Jita, that would be a quick way, but we don't want that. We need to get back because clusters coming, shutdowns coming. We don't want to get stuck in an hole and end up miles away from us all. So what we're going to do is we're going to head back now. Jump back through this, and this will polarize us to this hole, so we won't be able to open. We won't be able to come back through this hole. There you go. Hole's polarized. 3 minutes, but we don't want to do that. We want to go exit.
Warp drive active.
We've still got us 2 sets, set loaded, so we've remembered to recover as probes. We haven't forgot anything now at this point in time. I don't doubt that we will do. So we need to come out of this hole. And we're back into the system we need to be in. Got that bookmark so we can test that. There is a few other anomalies in there. I can't remember, I never checked. We don't have, it's not had its stability disrupted. Very large ships can pass through this. I should have known that from a C5. But it won't last another day. It's not coming to the end of its life. That should be a new wormhole. So what we're going to do is we will. I don't think I've got anything here. We don't have anything here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dock up in a random. And we'll dock up in the family bureau.
Warp drive active.
We're going to dock up there. And wait for downtime to be over because I don't want to be scanning and searching for stuff and then downtime it and the wormhole close. I have had that happen to me before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this. I'm going to have my coffee and I'll probably be on after downtime to do more scanning and get ourselves set up in a wormhole where we can actually start doing some C3 holes, start doing some sites, and we'll see how this experiment pans out. 'Cause I'd like to get to the I would like to get to the combat sites sooner rather than later. But I love you and leave you for now, boys and girls. And we'll see what happens.